crazy stuff?
No, they did. They just heard. We just got the last little bit of it.
I was so about to oversell the crap out of our little
of our intro music.
The very profound, commentary that we just had.
Wow, bro. It is election eve.
Yes.
Well, right now.
Yeah, right now. This comes out, though. It'll be election
eve. Right? Yeah, it'll be election eve when this hits.
Okay.
And I got to say, I'm ready for this to be done.
I agree.
And I think I get this way every election. Did you just Jeff me?
I might have semi-Jeffed you.
It's okay. I think we're good.
Can you adjust the camera? I'll move away from it.
No. Yeah, I'm okay.
Okay.
Yeah, you're good right there.
Okay.
You're okay. Everything's okay. Just don't touch anything or move a single centimeter from where you're at right now. Why are you hunching?
I don't know. You told me not to move.
Yeah, but that didn't mean hunch. But I get this way every time around election because I come into it early on in the primaries and it's like, okay, it's fresh. It feels good. It's democracy manifest. No, but
democracy.
It is. It's exactly what kind of you want, us to be. And then the more you get into it, the more crap it is, and it just kind of like drains you.
Yeah.
And to the point that where now I am done. I am so done with all of it.
Well, the closer you get to it, the more ramped up it is.
Yeah. Especially if you're in a quote unquote swing state. And we are. Georgia is still considered a swing state.
Oh, yeah.
Arizona is just as bad.
Yeah.
Just as bad out there. It's like I don't even get to escape it when I'm traveling for work. Just as bad.
No, it definitely and well, in this one, I don't know if it's because I've gotten older or just the kind of I mean, a lot of people talk about how high the stakes are with this election, and there's a lot of eyes on it, and I think you do have more people paying attention, right? So, what?
I saw, hold on, I'm going to make sure, I'm going to try to get my camera right.
Okay.
I gotta go this way. No, this way. No, not that far. Not that far. Come back. This way, there. Okay, I saw a Saturday Night Live skit, and they were interviewing a guy, and they said, they read a quote of his from 2020, I think.
I'm going to bail on this jacket, buddy.
Bail on it. Go ahead.
Sorry.
Gotcha. Check your pocket dump. Yeah, it's okay. It's all right. No. We're not recording a podcast or anything. It's okay. It's on your time, buddy. On your time. All you.
Get accustomed to this new setting.
Yeah.
I like it.
Okay.
But
it is different. It's a little different. We get to get some feedback from it.
We did. Positive feedback.
Positive feedback.
I like it.
And it's kind of what we were looking for.
I think I'm used to like my elbows being on something.
You gotta just kind of lean back a little bit and chill.
Yeah.
Just gotta
Yeah.
But they did, Saturday Night Live did a skit where they had a guy on, and I think it was, Trump won in 2016. So when he beat Clinton. Mm-hmm. So in 2016, when he beat Clinton, he had posted something very similar. He said that this election is going to like lock in democracy weighs in the balance or something like super intense, right? Mm-hmm. So they interviewed him and they read him his quote, and then they brought out Hillary's running mate. Do you remember who Hillary's running mate was?
I feel stupid if I don't.
I didn't.
Really?
I didn't. No. I thought they were making it. I thought I'm going to give you his first name, and you still won't get it.
Okay.
Tim. Didn't help you at all, did it?
Waltz. Nope, didn't help at all.
Okay. I just saw this today, and I forgot it already. So his name is Tim something. He's a senator, current senator from Virginia.
Okay.
He was Hillary's. So anyway, so they bring this guy out, and he's like, "Yeah, this is democracy weighs in the balance in this election." He was a Democrat, and they said they bring this guy out. He said, and he walks out into the stage, and he's in a suit, and he's like, "Hi, I was Hillary's running mate in 2016 when you made that statement. What's my name?" And then he goes, "No idea."
Damn.
So then the Saturday, the one of the guys that does the weekend update, is the white guy.
Yeah.
I don't know what his name. Michael
J. Fox.
something. Yeah. He said, I'm terrible with names. He said, well, I'm going to help you. He said his first name is Tim, and the buddy was still sitting there. He's like, no. He's like, I'm a senator. And he's like, no, from Virginia. No.
Got nothing for you.
So then the guy says, the Saturday Night Live guy says Tim Scott. And the guy's like, the guy that said it, he's like, oh yeah, Tim Scott. He's like, I'll never forget. Wasn't Tim Scott. It was Tim Ryan. Okay, that's who it was. His name was Tim Ryan. And he's like, my name's Tim Ryan. My name's Tim Ryan. You know, I'm a senator. Come on.
Nothing?
Yeah, nothing. And it's like, he's like, I was a heartbeat away from the presidency if Hillary would have won, and you don't know my name. That's how important it was. And I think that I'm trying not to be the complete opposite, that nothing matters and it's not important at all and nothing changes no matter who's in the office. I'm trying not to be very jaded.
Yeah.
Because I think for the most part, 95% of it, whatever happens is going to happen. No matter who's in the office.
It's hard to argue that. I mean, it is hard to argue that because especially, and I had a good conversation with a guy that I went to school with that works in a shop that I delivered to. It's good, right?
It was good coffee.
It is good coffee. And, he just rolled, kind of off the cuff with it. And he's like, man, we're all on the bottom. It don't matter anyways. Like nothing changing for us. And it's hard to argue that because you see very little of what people are talking about. You know, even at the middle class and down,
I think it's even worse for us, middle class America.
Yeah.
I think the very bottom sees change depending on who's in office. More programs with the Democrats, less programs with Republicans. More money for when the Democrats are in office, a little bit less when the Republicans are in office. More, just everything. They see more of a swing back and forth at the very bottom.
Right.
At the very top, I think you do the same thing. You know, when the Democrats are in office, the very top have less money. When the Republicans are in office, the very top has less money.
I think the top probably sees the majority of it.
Of the swing.
But also, demographically, like you would probably see some differences. Like Maybe. I don't think, like somebody in rural America doesn't really see that much change from policy and whatnot unless they're in, some sort of big business, agriculture or something like that, I guess. I don't know. I'm probably a little off there too, because there's companies like freight companies and stuff like that. They're going to see obvious change. Anything deals with fuel, but a lot of that stuff doesn't really. I mean, it kind of matters, but some of that stuff doesn't matter depending on the party, anyways. Like oil goes up, oil goes up.
Yeah, matters versus really has an impact.
Yeah, okay.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, it all matters at some level. It all matters.
Right.
But really changing things, I don't know that it really changes things.
Yeah.
Like, and I know, listen, I am impacted as I think all middle class and under people are with inflation, specifically at like the grocery store. Like grocery store inflation is real.
Yeah.
And a lot of people around rent is doubled in the last 4 years.
True that.
You know, if you go to rent a home today, you are paying basically double. Mm-hmm. And that's very impactful. And I think some of the changes that we're seeing are much longer term. Like we don't know, they're slower. so we don't recognize them as much. Like the rent impacting buying and purchasing, and homes not being available, and the price of homes skyrocketing from 4 years ago, and there not being any entry level homes anymore. Like,
well, there's people that, well, the new home buyer that's why they're trying to give you 25 grand, because where are the new home buyers right now?
there aren't. Where are the new homes?
Yeah.
Where are the entry level homes?
But also, who can justify it right now? You know, I mean, you're stuck having to pay rent right now. Like, who's saving money?
Yeah, you can't save money because you're paying rent.
Right.
And then the homes that used to be on the market for $110,000, which are your entry level homes.
Yeah,
you could find a 3-2. You know, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, you know, ranch floor, you know, maybe a 1-car garage, maybe not.
Right.
You know, on a quarter-acre lot somewhere for $110,000.
Well, yeah, they're not even building $200,000 homes.
No, everything's $300,000 and up.
Yep.
You know, everything is. They are building bigger houses, but for someone that's just starting,
yeah,
you know, husband and wife, newly married, maybe one kid, they don't need a 5-bedroom house. They don't need a massive 2,300 square foot 4-bedroom house.
No,
they don't need it. They don't need.
Not everybody wants 6 acres of land. And
no,
stuff like that either.
And they can't afford to pay. You know, even if they're college educated, right? If they're college educated and they do have college debt that they're carrying, that they are just now into the workforce, most of them are making somewhere, depending on what you do, $50,000 to $70,000 a year each.
Yeah.
Coming straight out of college.
Used to be the shit.
Used to be great.
But now that's like what 30 and 40 grand
yes.
used to be. Like, that's pretty much
so when you start running the bills, if they have college debt, both of them work, both of them have college debt. You know, both of them have several $100s a month that they're paying back for their tuition for college. You know, 2 car payments, house payment. Daycare, good Lord.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's if they don't have kids.
If they have kids, they're paying daycare, and it makes it almost impossible
it was $120 a week 10 years ago.
Yeah, I don't know what it is
per kid.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
there's no telling what it is now. That's insane.
It's insane.
$240 a week on like on childcare.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, you're paying. You know, if $240 a week. You know, 2, 4, 6, 8. You $1,000 a month.
Yeah,
$1,000 a month in childcare.
Yep.
To be able to work.
Yeah.
And make gross $4,000 a month. So 25% of your gross.
Yep.
Is going straight to childcare.
Yep. Well, that's what kept us for. You know, when the girls were real little, it was cheaper for Steph to stay home and take care of the kids and help me with my stuff.
That's exactly right.
I mean,
yeah. Same way for us.
Right.
Carrie stayed home from a time right when between Jordan and Uriah, she started staying home, and she stayed home all the way through Paris, just until the last 3 or 4 years.
Right.
Paris was in like middle school before she,
right.
You know, maybe end of elementary school before she went back to work. So.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't make any sense. And then look, even then, if it wasn't for an after school program,
right, sports,
you know, and sports and stuff,
yeah, which also costs money.
It does cost money, but man, that's cheaper than having them to go to daycare.
For sure.
You know, because I think it's like $5 a day or something
yeah,
for them to stay a couple hours after school, and then we just swing by and pick them up. When she was in and the boys too, when they were in elementary school. And then at middle school, and they had sports from one season to the next.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's easy to get jaded with politics, and the election. It's easy.
Yeah, and you know, going into this whole thing, like, you know, and it has been a while, and it's very easy to get jaded with politics, and honestly, both sides don't do you any good. And I think a lot of people, especially in my generation and below, don't really find themselves. I mean, they've talked about that. I mean, I've been on the Kennedy train since the top of the year, since he announced that he was really making a push.
Yeah, and
you know, both sides don't do any of those people that are in the middle, you know, any favors. You know, it's either them or nothing. Like, there's no, like, we're expecting bipartisan behavior or expectations when they're in office on the job, but we don't expect it out of any of the voters, like at any of the people.
That's a good point.
None of the people will even consider the other side's take anymore.
That's a great. That is such a great point. And I've never thought of it like that.
Yeah.
That the system itself is so hypocritical.
Yeah.
That we expect all of our politicians to be bipartisan as soon as they get to Congress. You work together, get stuff done. Work together in the Congress, in the House of Representatives, in the Senate. Work together, unifying. You're hearing a lot of that now because Kamala Harris and Trump are both trying to court those middle voters, those independent, just a little bit right here in the very end.
Well.
But unify. But that's
what frustrates me the most out of it is, both sides so heavily rely on the swing vote or the politicians in the middle so that they can work across the aisle because they all need each other and all this and that. But they're the same ones that kind of demonize you whenever you bring up an issue for their side.
Right.
They shove all these people, that are in the middle, they kind of keep them there. So when you say like it's not like it's easy to get very frustrated, well, that's where those people end up when they just have their fill of all the bullshit. Like I can't tell you how many times that you swing from left to right if you're objective at all.
Right.
You can be believing this whole thing the whole time. Somebody from the other side brings up, shines a light on something that makes you pay attention to it. Then you start paying attention over here a little while longer just for the other side to shine some light. And you're like, oh, well, that's bullshit too. Like, where are you supposed to end up in the middle?
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Which kind of brings me to, like, just to kind of summarize this whole political season, which has been like a year-long thing. Like, we've pretty much been coming up on a year of all of it.
All this calendar year.
Yeah, absolutely. Which is, I think, interesting in itself because I honestly think there's a lot of eyes on it now. And they're getting views, so it's getting pushed that way too. Every political this, that, and the other is doing millions of views right now. So there's incentive to kind of play the entertainment factor.
Lean into it.
Absolutely, right? Podcasters, news reporters, all that kind of stuff. But at the top of this year, like my whole thing is I've pushed hard for like the middle and the independent. I say hard, but I have. That's kind of where I've stood.
You've stood there. Right. You stood there through the whole process, really.
Pretty much, right? And once Kennedy, which was pretty disappointing, and I told you right when I first saw that he was, shutting it down and then endorsing Trump and going to, on that side and Tulsi as well. It wasn't so much that it was because Trump. I was kind of disappointed just to hear that he was like putting feelers out before he made a decision. Because he was hanging it up, and if you're really gonna make an argument for the third party, there's a few things there, right? Both sides are gonna have you can find good and bad on each side. There's a bunch of people that are stuck right in the middle, and that's a lot of the people that aren't voting, right? A lot of them do vote, but they vote independent, which is both sides just rake you through the coals because it's a non-vote, it's a waste of a vote and all that. But there's the exact same people that will also tell you that if you don't vote, then your opinion doesn't matter.
Right.
Never mind. There's an argument there too, by the way. All you don't vote, you can't talk. And you see all these ads now that are telling you that, we don't know who you voted for, but we can find out if you voted.
If you voted.
Yeah. But you don't have a problem with me. Okay, can I opt out of paying taxes then?
Yeah.
Can I opt out of income tax?
Yeah.
No, I got to vote for that. But I mean, it's just this endless cycle, right?
Yep.
Like you have no problem with me paying taxes, but if I'm not voting mindlessly, which is why I think the third party vote serves a few different, it serves a few different purposes. Right?
Yep.
It's kind of like your protest vote, right? So it does it does count. I'm voting.
So if it didn't count and if it didn't change anything, there wouldn't be so much noise trying to make you feel bad about doing it.
Exactly. And both sides literally do the same thing.
Yes.
A hard side Republican will tell you it's a waste
throwing
of a
your vote away.
Yeah, you're throwing it away and all this and that, but I should probably vote for you though, right? You're not going to tell me to vote for the other side.
Right.
Because no matter what, you wouldn't vote for the other side, and that goes for both sides. Like, if you're going to sit here and argue your point and all this and that, like, but you would never vote Republican anyways, and vice versa, you would never vote Democrat anyways, then your whole argument, like, what are you talking about? You would never swing, you would never be objective in this situation anyways.
That's right.
Your bias is going to overload all of your decision making.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
So, a lot of that pretty much ends up just shitting all over all these people who don't really have a home, you know, in politics. And maybe, like I said, it serves a few different purposes. For one, it's a protest vote, right? You know, I can't, you know, I'm not going to decide either one, but I'm also going to cast a vote so that I still have a play. Like, I still have, you know, I can voice my opinion now. Thank you.
Yeah.
But they definitely have a like a way of really like not kind of demonizing you for not you know, choosing their side and you only going to the middle. But even if the middle can't ever be anything,
Yep.
like, so say if it, you know, say Kennedy made the run, you know, he even snagged up Tulsi as a VP, they ran completely independent, made it all the way to the White House, they're not going to have Congress, right? So I guess on paper, you have independent president and vice president, and then what, the two parties are just going to work against them the whole time? They're just going to send the whole time to just shut them down? Is that how that works? I mean,
No.
I mean, right? Like,
No.
I mean,
they're going to still try to push
right.
projects and bills through their constituent that will benefit their constituents.
Right.
That's what they're going to do.
Right. And but the whole idea for an independent party wouldn't be to create a bunch of new independent politicians. It'd be to convert other people over, just like y'all are doing.
Correct.
And maybe the role isn't that they just take over as like a third competitor of a party. Maybe just being that party alone and having that kind of power in which way they decide to swing, either left or right, holds the left or right more accountable.
I agree.
And we don't have that right now. We don't have that at all. So you can't tell me that the independent party, for one, if it's not going to start now, how is it ever supposed to start? Like, okay, it's going to take 30 years. Okay.
Okay.
Then
so
it takes 30 years.
all right. So
like, whatever.
I'm so glad that you've got us here, because I want to talk about this a little bit.
Okay.
Because I think, you know, from what I remember and what you remember, the first election that I probably really remember was 1996, when I was a junior in high school.
Was that Clinton? Like blowjob Clinton, not email murder assassin killing?
Yeah, that was Clinton.
Blowjob Clinton.
Second Clinton. Yes, after the slightly embattled Clinton. So his second term. First term was 92. I remember Clinton 96. I obviously couldn't vote. I was 17 at that point. And then, so the first election that I voted in was the Bush-Gore year 2000. Okay. I'm going somewhere with all this. So we are a representative democracy, right? So we have the Electoral College. Each state has a set number of representatives or electorates who vote based on the popular vote in that state. So the map, the Electoral College map, which you'll see a lot over the next couple days, is the red and the blue map, right? And we've seen it a lot for the last several weeks. They play out a million scenarios, red or blue, red or blue, red or blue. And then they can pretty much call right now, before any votes are cast, everything except for like 8 states.
Right.
There are 8 states that they're not sure which way they're going to go, and how that states, Georgia, Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Arizona, a couple others, right? Depending on how those states go, is how the presidency will go.
Right, because they can swing them.
Because
they're up for grabs.
Yep.
Right. They're not set in their ways.
They're up for grabs, and both candidates have enough, but they have enough to get them close, but none of them have enough like in the bag right now where they are going to win regardless.
Yeah, it's going to be. Yeah,
They
no
need some of these
landslide.
swing states.
Yeah.
So there have been no landslides. It's a great. I'm glad you brought that term up. That's a great term.
That's what I do.
So good. There have been no real landslides in those last 25 years, 24 years since 2000.
Bush
96. Yeah, 96 Clinton, 92 Clinton wasn't a landslide. But Bush Dukakis in 88 was pretty close to a landslide.
That's a good word.
It was pretty close to a landslide in 1988. In 1984, backing up another year, the last Reagan term, Reagan won every state except Minnesota and Washington, D.C. His map is almost completely red. Almost completely red. Okay?
And Reagan was after. No, Carter?
Carter.
Yeah.
Yes,
That,
Carter.
yeah.
Reagan's second. That was Reagan's second. Reagan's first term in 1980. He won all but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 states. Reagan. So he almost swept then as well. Carter was a 50-50. Okay, in his second term, or the second time he ran, him trying to be president. Right when he won. 72 Nixon, which was the second Nixon term. Okay. Nixon's reelection. Nixon almost won by a landslide. Nixon only lost 1, 2, 3, 4 states. Almost Nixon in 72. The whole map's almost red. All Republican almost. Brings me back. So in that time, a couple years before that, 1964 was Johnson. Look, Johnson almost completely blue, right? So you had these huge swings.
Right.
The whole country go one way,
Big pendulum swings.
then the whole country go the other way.
Right. When you had war around that time.
Yep, war. But there was an election in 1968, which was Nixon's first term, that Nixon won barely. He won it barely. He beat Humphrey. Don't know. Was a Democrat.
Old man Humphrey.
Old man Humphrey's boy. Old man Humphrey's boy.
Yeah, his boy. Yeah.
But in that, what's interesting about that is the last election that a significant number of states went independent.
Ah.
Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Arkansas, Louisiana, and part of North Carolina all went independent.
What year?
1968.
Huh.
When Nixon won. So it was George Wallace was the American independent candidate. And he ended up getting almost 10 million votes to Humphrey and Nixon. Humphrey got 30 million and Nixon got 31 million.
And those are all swing
popular
states?
votes.
Or did one of them completely?
No, it was very close.
Right.
Very close.
But are all those swing states now?
No. Nope.
No, just
Nope.
Georgia.
Some of
and
them, yeah. Alabama's fully red. Mississippi's fully red. I think they're all fully red
Right.
now, except Georgia.
So yeah, Georgia.
But my take on that is that it's people like to say that there's the third party has no shot, right? That you're throwing your vote away. But not too long ago in this country, in most people's lifetimes that's on this earth, just outside of my lifetime and your lifetime. So, our parents' generation, there was an independent candidate that won, that won 6 states. That actually won states, not just got votes, won states.
That's right.
And in that time since then, the country has went almost completely full Republican a couple times. So if California can go Republican
Right.
in our lifetime, and they have,
Right.
then a third party the right candidate, I think, can come on if they have the right backing and everything falls into place. the right candidate can win states and can contend for the presidency.
Right.
It should be able to happen.
Right.
Like it should.
What makes you wonder why it didn't happen? Around that time. If somebody came along and won 6 states, and an independent guy,
why didn't that keep going?
But what it definitely did was probably grab some attention that people started paying
Absolutely.
attention to, especially then. There was all kind of shenanigans in the country then.
No, absolutely. So what's happened is the Republicans and the Democrats, so mainly the Republicans here, because those are all red states right now.
Right.
The Republicans had to look at that and say, I never want to lose Alabama again. I never want to lose Mississippi again. I never want to lose Arkansas and Alabama.
What do you think
or
the deciding
Louisiana.
factor then would have been for a Republican state to lose, for them to lose like a Republican state like Mississippi?
I don't know. I don't know enough.
See, I wonder what
about,
like, did industry come in around that kind of time, or was it just the state of the country and people wanted to change?
I don't know.
Was it more of a blue influence? Was it more of a red influence? Tired of the party?
I need to do a little bit of research into that.
Yeah,
into
I
the
might will
independent
too.
candidate.
That's interesting. I've never thought about that.
To see whose votes he took. Did he take Nixon votes?
Right.
Or did he take the Democrat?
Right. Was he converting people to the left or to the right that ended up in the middle somewhere?
Right.
That would probably at that time, where are those people that had some conservative views?
My guess would be he probably stole them from the right.
Right.
Because they were red states before. They were red states before. They've been red states ever since.
Yeah. So it was probably some progressive thinking for the
Probably
time
some progressive thinking.
that people were kind of like, hey, man, this is a little too hard-nosed.
Yeah.
Like
and I don't know what
probably.
it was. Maybe some civil rights.
Civil rights.
Because, in the late 60s, 68.
Hell yeah, Alabama.
It probably was. Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi, Louisiana, Arkansas.
Yeah.
That southeastern belt.
When did the vote for the black community come into play?
When did the black African Americans vote?
I wonder if that's when it swung.
Maybe.
But that right there would maybe be that's like the ground zero of people trying to, it'd be a good example of like, hey man, you're too far this way.
65.
Okay.
So
by 68.
That was the first presidential election they could vote.
And they had independent.
Yeah. Well, that'd be interesting to look at.
That's it. That right there kind of proves what I'm saying. Like it clearly in the 60s, places like Alabama needed some freaking, a little bit of liberal thinking.
Yeah. Yes.
They weren't, they had segregated schools, like, it's the South back then. Like, Ku Klux Klan is running every damn thing, back then. So, out of balance. Can we be practical and bring things back to a balanced state?
Bring it back to the center.
And I think maybe. Not that the KKK is running the country or anything. It's going to be a weird connection. But
look, sometimes I feel like
careful.
I know. Sometimes I feel like all the other alphabet soup groups.
Yeah, kind of, right?
A, B, C, D, E, F, G plus groups.
Yeah, maybe we're kind of getting into...
Are too far.
Yeah, we're too far. Like, we've swung way hard the other way. This is why a guy like Trump can push as hard as he can right now, because you have this...
Man, that's good coffee.
It is good.
That is really good coffee.
Black Rifle's hitting. Salute.
Yeah. U.S. Army. Go Army. Sam. Shout out to Sam. Was in town, by the way, this weekend for just a day.
Boys,
got to get him on the mat.
A little thick, yeah.
He is a little thick.
Yeah, I went to foot sweep him, and it just didn't sweep.
Didn't move.
I said, don't. I said,
look, I saw him.
Any pick.
I saw him load you and float you for a while from Butterfly.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah. Yeah,
you didn't just like smash through and turn your hips and go.
No, I had a hand fight a bit.
Yeah,
I was like, float and just like, I can't go yet. I need his hands,
and he's elevating into legs. I was like, that doesn't happen before.
Not like that.
No,
I had to stand.
Yeah. No. Shout out him. He jumps out of his first perfectly good airplane this week, is set to graduate airborne school this coming week down at Fort Moore.
Congrats.
Used to be Benning.
Proud of you, buddy.
Yeah, 82nd Airborne bound.
Yes, sir. That's my brother.
Yeah,
My brother was 82nd Airborne.
that's awesome, man.
Yeah, that is cool.
That's really cool. So anyway, yeah, shout out Sam, U.S. Army.
But where were we?
We were the alphabet soup going too far left.
So yeah, I think maybe maybe it's a variation of that.
Mm-hmm.
Again, not that clearly.
I'm not calling them Ku Klux Klan.
No, because they're not.
But the pendulum
hanging people on the street or nothing. But
I don't know, bro. Antifa does some wild crap.
Antifa is wild, bro, and
they're wild.
I'll get to that in a second, but without jumping there too quick. Yeah, I think. I think that's a balancing act. Like, again, why do you have these extreme, this extreme Trumper on the right?
Yeah.
Right now, how do you even get that in mass like you're getting it right now, unless you give people a bunch of ammunition the same way back the other way, And I think a third party, people in the middle, I think that party can serve as the party of balance, right? And to hold the middle, and if you look up Austin Hidecki's Savage Zen, he's got a newsletter.
Yes.
He has a take on this right now, and the wonderful post he did today that was kind of encompasses some of that about like having to hold the middle and being balanced and being strong and being able to endure, and maybe that's the party role. And I think now and going forward, we need it more than ever.
But you know what I think what's missing from that middle, the independent party?
Dudes that can get pregnant.
No.
Weird.
No,
Which side
that is missing. That is. I hope that stays.
There's a bunch of people now saying like, "Oh, no, y'all are just listening to right-wing propaganda." Nobody said that. No, but the extremist on your side did. Okay,
people
just like
that say they're like
some
you
weird fucking shit too.
Did say it. People did say it, and now a lot of them swing it like Chris Cuomo, the news anchor.
Yeah, he swung hard to the middle now.
Well, yeah, because like I remember when he was like calling Rogan out about the ivermectin, and he just got blasted by some joker on his own show.
Oh, he has blasted. Look, I give him some credit for the past year. For him to try to recourse the way that he needed to, he's eating a lot of crow.
Yes.
He is eating so much crap to try to swing it back.
That's the only way, bro. That's the only way back.
It is the only way back. It is only, and I'm like, okay, this I'll give you some props.
I'll respect it.
He went on PBD with Candace Owens, Dave Smith, which is a Legion of Skanks, ruthless comedian, but also really knows his crap.
Super smart.
Yeah, Vivek, people like he's been on there with those guys, getting like debating with them, and. I give you props there, buddy, because he ate complete crap in all of those for hours on end.
But back to so you know what I think the middle is missing, what the independent is missing. I think they're too independent.
Yeah,
I don't think they're organized enough.
There's not a party.
I think
the independent party does not have a party. I think that is perfectly clear.
And that's where I think had the independent party been an actual party,
right,
and had the Kennedys and the Tulsis and all those strong independents, had they unified a little bit more and came together a little bit more and really just honed in and had a plan and had some organization to them, did it all right. That's where I think they could make. I think they could pull some swing states, bro.
Either I think they honestly took a good look at it. And I don't think that wasn't their intention, but either they're convinced enough or they're being sold enough that the stakes on this election were just way too high to play a 20-year chess game to build an independent party. That's the thing that worries me, is that there's enough people that think this election is important enough on both sides that they're like, I'm not saying the left tried to kill Trump, but somebody tried to kill Trump twice. And
at least twice that we know about.
That we definitely know
twice
about.
That made that you couldn't ignore.
News. Yeah,
like you could not ignore that it happened twice.
That's right.
It happened a bunch.
That's right.
There have been 0 reported attempts on Kamala Harris's life.
Yeah.
0.
No.
None. Nobody wants to kill her except maybe Joe Biden right now.
Maybe
Joe Biden is in a weird place.
Maybe, yeah, definitely
weird place.
So they definitely Yeah, they definitely take a look at it, and they think that it's so important. Like, this election is so important that they chose not to do that. Like, it's that dire of a situation. So it makes you wonder, are they either getting sold that it is just a waste of a vote, or, you know, obviously they probably know more than us, and they've really looked at it, and they got people around them, and they say that, yes, it's that important right now. Because the left is saying the same thing now, that he's a threat to democracy, and both sides are saying this is the last election of its kind. But they both say if the Democrats get elected, or if the Republicans get elected, this is the last one. Like, yeah, if the Republicans get elected, then this is the last one of its kind. Yeah, if the liberals get elected, this is the last one of its kind. And which makes me immediately skeptical. Like, I'm immediately like, oh, y'all are just trying to get me to vote.
Yeah, it's weird.
For you.
It's weird.
Right?
And I see it. So, and maybe this is my bias. Maybe this is my...
It's good to identify bias.
Maybe this is my white male bias, my Republican upbringing bias.
So West Virginia coming out.
Actually, West Virginia up until the last 4, 5, 6 years was very Democrat.
Oh.
Very Democrat. They were different. They were Robert Byrd Democrats. Robert Byrd was a senator in West Virginia, and he was so good at the appropriation game. He brought so much money back to West Virginia. Nobody could upset him.
Poor people.
Poor people wanting stuff. So he would just keep feeding stuff to West Virginia. And there's people in West Virginia that to this day will say they're Democrats. They have no idea what it means. They just know Robert Byrd was a Democrat and they're a Democrat. But Trump has made inroads there and actually has won the last couple elections.
Wow.
And carried it. It's not even a swing state.
That ought to
right
tell
now.
the Democrat party something.
Yeah, it's not even a swing state anymore.
Yeah.
It's solidly red.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like that, you should be able to ask yourselves that.
I grew up with I was a Rush Limbaugh, very young Rush Limbaugh Democrat or Republican rather.
Pre-Percocet days.
Yes. And because
wait, is Rush dead?
I think he did die.
Oh, my bad.
I think he did die.
Sorry.
You do that a lot.
I know.
But Rush Limbaugh at the time. This is before he kind of went Alex Jonesy a little bit at the end.
But with Neil Boortz and Alex Jones.
And,
was like Neil Boortz and Alex Jones had
combined.
a side chick.
Yeah,
well, they were the
love child of
bastards. Alex Jones.
Yeah.
Neil Boortz just.
No. Okay.
Sorry.
But early on, he made a lot of sense. And to me, I was looking for somebody to make sense of politics and talk about it in a way that I could understand. And when he talked about Clinton and the stuff that the Clintons did to get into office, followed them all the way through. And it wasn't conspiracy theory-ish. It was like these people died.
Right.
You know, they offed these people. And, you know, Bill Clinton did this. And
back AM radio days.
A little bit. Some of it. Now, some of that also got me into some late night tinfoil hat stuff.
That stuff's fun though.
It is a lot of fun. I miss it. I miss some like 2:00 in the morning AM radio stuff. But it kind of shaped me a little bit in a lot of my views. And I was conservative anyway, but it helped me understand from the Republican side. The Democrats didn't have anything like that, that I ever was listening to.
Yeah.
They always did. Theirs was much more grassroots, like, just, talking to them at the colleges and professors were very liberal.
Well, even if it was mainstream,
that.
they were way more they were way more famous people.
Yeah. And it just,
the Howard Sterns and the Bill Maher's
but see, even Howard Stern, when I would watch and listen to Howard Stern, it was for the comedy. It was like Bubba. Bubba in the morning. It was just shock jock radio. It wasn't like I was listening to him, not like he is now,
right?
Where he's much more political now than what he was then. He was still shock jock. Hey, I'm a wacky, crazy DJ that gets to say anything they want because I'm on satellite radio. We can say the F word on satellite radio, and we have chicks topless in the studios. It's satellite radio.
Homeless man and a drug dealer.
Yeah, it's satellite radio because we're on the edge.
We're unhinged.
So it's all this wildness was what was on the left at that side, and I'd look for it for entertainment, but that's all I looked at it as, was just entertainment.
Right.
But on the right, I still didn't. I never liked like Mark Levin. He would come on after Rush a little bit, and I never really liked him. But Rush kind of led me into Hannity a little bit. Hannity was again a very intelligent person. Talked about it in a very specific way, and I was like, oh, these guys kind of make sense to me. So I think that's shaped a lot of where I am. But even still, though, I'm rationalizing a lot with where we are today that I even don't see it the same way on the right as a lot of that far right, bro.
Yeah.
And I think that I would absolutely be a pro-independent voter, potential voter.
Yeah.
Because I think the right can go too far right.
Yes.
I think the left has gone too far left.
Yeah, I agree. And I think the thing that did have me leaning right was that's where Kennedy went. And then if I look at Trump and I say a guy that definitely has failed in a lot of different ways, but I've also seen him fire those people, like a corporation, like a business owner would.
Yep.
And then apparently hire smarter people. So if you're going to have more, capitalists, industrial behavior going on, I like that a guy like Kennedy's involved to keep those people in check.
I agree.
I don't think that anybody should just have all the reins and step on the gas the whole time.
Yep.
I think somebody should be holding them in check. And not only does he bring a Kennedy, but he brings a Tulsi. I haven't seen any of that from the left.
No.
And what I'm looking for is unity. I'm looking for United
Pull us
States
together.
of America.
Pull
over
us
here.
together.
Yeah.
Pull us together. Let's have a discussion about it.
Absolutely. Can we please? I don't have. Look, I get it. I both want extremely, even maybe just slightly out of balanced border control. I want a hard-nosed border. I want it on both sides. I want
Absolutely.
a freaking moat around everything if we can.
For sure.
Like that's just how I feel.
I want to know who comes in and goes out.
Absolutely.
I want to know. It's our country. I want to know who comes in and goes out.
I don't think that if there's DNA testing put at the border so that a man has to have a DNA test because he's bringing little girls over, that those are, and he says that those are his daughters, that they are his daughters, or if he says that there's some sort of kin, like I'm trying to get my nieces over into the country, blah, 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 and not just a human trafficker that's bringing young girls over in mass, right?
Yes.
I don't see any reason why taking those things out because they're your opposing party's, policy.
Yeah.
Like that didn't do any harm to have that in place. That doesn't change anything. Why would we eliminate that?
Yeah.
Stupid shit like that. I want extremely safe borders, but at the same time, and policies like that involved, but at the same time, I don't know how you're going to do a mass deportation of millions of people.
You're not.
The criminals, the violent gang members, the ones that have come out of prisons and stuff like that. Yeah, we need to lock them up too. Like deport them, but we're supposed to be locking up criminals anyways. We're looking for criminals.
Supposed to be
from this country or not. We're supposed to be looking for criminals. Like we have entire agencies we put a lot of money into, or we should, and put a lot of money into our police programs and all that kind of stuff, and our three-letter agencies, stuff like. We should be catching those people. So that's kind of goes without saying.
Yep.
That's not even what. That's not even 5% of the people that are coming over right now.
Right.
But 5% is a lot when you're talking about criminals.
This is a lot.
But that means 95% of those people are families and good people. What does that look like? What is the logistical look like? How does that play out? How does the logistics of you deporting millions, especially if Mexico is just like, nah. or they do, and then it's just right over the border.
Yeah, but what if they're not Mexicans? Most of these people aren't Mexicans.
No. Where do you deport all? Like,
are you just going to like airdrop them into Costa Rica or Venezuela? Yeah, what are you going to do?
Say good luck.
Yeah, hey, deuces.
So when you say that,
you can't drop them off in Mexico because they're illegal in Mexico too.
That's right. Yeah. Well, and I get it. Like, okay, they had third party asylum. Is that how that was? Mm-hmm. So basically, if you're claiming asylum and you left your country and ended up in Mexico, that's where you have to claim it. You can't just go on to the next one.
Right.
Yeah, they took all that shit away.
Yeah.
I get it. They fucked you.
Yeah, you're done.
This is where we're at now. Like, there is no, we get it. It's their fault, blah, blah, blah. What about where we're at?
You better find another place to go hop off that will accept you, because we're not.
Right. And
We're full.
put that kind of stuff back into play. And my point is like, I get it. You know, like you get into the, he should see, like, it's their fault. Like, you stay on there. Like, we get it. Yeah, fine. They fucked you. You're now here. We have all these people here. What does a mass deportation look like? So I can, at the same time, want very secure borders and not want to just let everybody in here at all.
Right.
And at the same time, know that there's a huge humanitarian issue with deporting millions of people just like that. And I feel like that's the same way with when Kamala says that she has an economic plan that she can't describe. Well, you have an immigration program, a problem that you're saying you're going to solve by mass deportation that you haven't described.
You can't describe it. And that's
refugee camps, I imagine, would have to be into that.
But Kyle, that's every issue.
Yeah.
Every issue has so many nuances and so many little gray areas in it. You can't broad brush it. You can't just say this is this and this is what we're going to do,
right?
And say it in a 30-second elevator speech,
right? And try to sell
everybody around you that this is it. It doesn't work like that. And I think from what I get, people, I feel like there are more people on the right that understand that than on the left.
Yeah, and I think a lot of those were in the middle. Now they're just right-leaning.
Well, and this is kind of like what Rogan has said. He's like, I was left, and the left went so far left, all of a sudden I'm right now, and I didn't move.
Yeah, and I didn't go anywhere.
Yeah. And I'm right.
Right.
Like I'm on the right side now, not the left side. And it's not because I changed. It's because the left went so wild.
Yeah, we don't know why.
So crazy. Left. And they just keep going left. And, Tim Waltz is how does he rationalize some of the things that he says are okay? I don't get. How does he rationalize?
Well, and I'm young to argue
all the transgender stuff. I don't get it. I don't get the tampons in the boys' bathrooms.
Well, so but to like that, just like, so if you're gonna because you got to be able to make the arguments, right? So like, I'm pretty young to like politics, right? So the way that I start categorizing it, and maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I don't know, but it is between like, and I know it's not I just discovered this, but policy and character.
Yes.
Right? Sometimes I wonder which one is the hill to die on, because, or if one is like a default hill because you can't argue policy anymore.
Right? I think it's got to be policy.
But if you win on policy, then somehow you win the argument on character. And if you argue character, then you have to really, it seems like you have to machine gun the policy to outweigh the character. But then, I don't know. Like, character's got to count for something.
Character does account for something. And I'll tell you as far as politicians go, how I judge character in a politician is what policy they vote for.
Yeah.
That's how I judge the character of a politician. Tim Waltz may be the greatest uncle figure ever, but his policy in Minnesota takes the parents' rights away to make decisions about their children if they say they're transgender.
Right.
And the state can take control of their children and give them gender re-identification surgeries and medicines and hormones and all this.
And all that's fact.
It is all fact.
All that's fact.
It is not. It is no debate whatsoever. There is this is absolute fact. That happened in Minnesota under Tim Waltz. Okay, that tells me everything I need to know about Tim Waltz.
Right.
All the other stuff about that he may have molested and had homosexual relationship with people.
That's kind of been debunked, hasn't it?
It's just fuzzy. It's just there's no one's ever really came out and said it. But that stuff, I wouldn't vote for him or not vote for him because of that.
Right.
The fact that he says that he was a football coach and says weird stuff when it comes to football, like he doesn't even understand it. I'm not going to not vote for him. It's weird, but that's not going to cause me to not vote for him. Just like some of the things they tried to say about J.D. Vance, about his character when he was younger and what he was, and that's not. But I can look at J.D. Vance's voting record. I can hear what he says in regards to policy, and that tells me what I need to know about him as far as his character. You know, none of us are perfect.
But you don't feel like they can hide character behind policy?
Sure they can.
Right.
But I don't care.
Okay.
Because all I'm looking at is what they're going to do as a public person.
Okay.
What they do as a private citizen, I don't care. Does not, like, up until a certain extent, I don't care.
Right.
You know,
well,
obviously,
my argument, it wasn't so much for Trump or on Vance as it is for Trump.
Yeah.
On
Again,
the character one, because the character one is such an issue because, you know, he's done some weird shit.
He
like
has.
January 6th and not denouncing the Proud Boys and stuff like that. Where I think personally that yes, he's narcissistic and it's his ego.
it is all
I
ego.
think it's all tit for tat for him.
Yep.
I don't think that he's the next Hitler.
Nope.
And I think when we start throwing around that kind of language and whatnot, I think you devalue
Your
what
argument.
Nazis
Yeah, absolutely.
are and all that. Just like a woman who cries rape that never got raped. Like you are shitting on all the women who have suffered abuse because.
And I think those people are just as bad
Absolutely.
as the people that are raping.
Well, and the people, yes, and
Absolutely.
I think with the Madison Square Garden rally and everything, I've had people, like smart people, try to tell me like, well, yeah, but there was one that kind of looked very similar to what they're doing. Okay, so you compare it to a Nazi rally? Like, what are we doing? Like,
It doesn't make any
you
sense.
can't tell me you're not trying to do something here,
Yeah.
and that's extreme, and you're opening this weird door. That's why I encourage both sides to, you know, put a pin in it somewhere. Like you can't go tit for tat for that because man, that gets bad. Like you both,
That's
each
exactly
side,
right.
you start telling the other one that we're gonna have to fight for this country back if they win. Like there's gonna be people that grow up like hearing that eventually get
Pennsylvania
very-
shooter.
Absolutely, that
Pennsylvania shooter.
get super extremist. Like that's how you develop these people. Like. Y'all got to quit that shit. Like, quit saying that, like, the other ones aren't Americans.
Yes.
You're Americans. You're
Or
Americans.
they're terrorists.
Or they're terrorists. Threats to
you know,
democracy
yes.
and all this kind of
All
stuff.
that.
And
Stop it.
Nazis, fascists.
Have
all
a
this stuff.
debate. Have an actual conversation.
Talk about it. Like,
You know, and that's why I personally liked J.D. Vance's interview with Joe Rogan,
yeah.
more than I did Donald Trump's.
yeah, I agree.
He seems more normal.
I liked his debate with.
I liked his debate with Waltz
too.
more than I did Trump and Harris.
Because at the end of it, they both said, "Hey, we can sit here and talk about this."
Absolutely.
If you can, maybe y'all can come together with it. Maybe you can say you're silly because of this, and you're silly because of that, or more importantly, y'all are really smart because of this.
Yeah,
and
I
y'all are
like
really smart because of that.
what you said about that.
Yes.
I like your.
Can we take our
I like
strengths and
I like
double
your
down?
insurance policy. I like your cutting drug costs down. I like you're getting rid of big pharma. I like that about what you're saying.
Yeah, hey.
So can we work together on that?
Super successful businessman. How about we show this environmental movement or this environmental nonprofit how to be more, do
Yes.
more, like have more incentive to create more incentive to, clean up more,
Where it
or
makes
have more
sense,
recycling.
where
Yeah,
it
absolutely.
makes sense and it's logical, not this crazy wild. We have to have electric cars
Abolish it.
in 4 years, and just like California did,
Yeah.
right? They got to have electric cars, and then not too long later they're like, "Hey, can you guys not charge your Teslas because our power grid can't handle
We
it?"
can't handle it.
What are you guys talking about?
talking
What are you
about?
talking about? Why would you not?
By
Why
the
would
way,
you not think
the
through
lithium
that?
batteries weigh a lot, and their carbon footprint's way higher in this car, but
Way higher, way bigger.
And they're also
I get
mining
it.
with
Look,
slaves.
I hate going to the gas station too. I hate pumping gas.
I don't mind it.
I hate it. I wish that I could get Carrie an electric car, because every time I get in her car, I have to put gas in it. So I would get her an electric car that every time she comes home, she can plug it up, and I never have to worry about when I go to get in it to drive it that I have to get gas every time. Carrie, every time. Every time I get in your car, it needs gas. Okay, so
It's a Kia.
it gets great gas mileage. Has nothing to do with the gas mileage.
I was trying to get something,
Nothing to do
You
with
know
that.
what I like about gas and about going to the gas station to pump gas?
Energy drinks.
That definitely.
Yeah.
White Monsters.
Kyle's.
How did we know we were going to do that? We didn't plan that at all.
Nope, because it's a thing.
Is that at the most, it takes me 15, 20 minutes to do it. And then I'm ready to go 300 miles if I need to.
Yep.
Right? Like, for one, I don't want the power bill, and 2, like you have to charge that crap for like 24 hours to make that work. Like, oh crap, I forgot to charge my car. Like, I don't want those problems.
Yeah,
Just
no,
gasoline.
I get it, and that's why I don't think I would ever go all electric. But I think I could have one car that was electric. You know, one car that we just drive around town. We go less than 200 miles a day on. Absolutely, think I could have that and go.
See,
electric.
I think that's where. Yeah,
Am I part of the problem?
No, I don't think. I think it's just your side that likes that kind of convenience, and I get it, and I think I'm a little more conservative one of that. I want my freaking gas powered damn guzzler
diesel that rolls coal as soon as you pull out.
3/4-ton gas burner. That's what I want.
Well, I mean, I don't have a whole lot of room to talk. I drive a Challenger.
You do. Well, I want a diesel that has an extra 25-gallon tank. I can pump it straight
It's like the guy that put a diesel in a Mustang.
Yes. Yeah. That's hilarious. Yeah. I want a diesel in a Mustang. Yeah, and I'm gonna jack it up.
Jack it up. Make it a rally car.
Worse.
Just
it gets worse gas mileage now.
You hear the turbo just whining and.
You ever watch that movie Be Cool? John Travolta, and it's got a bunch of actors in it. But
No,
Andre 3000's in it.
Okay. Pre-flute, Andre 3000?
Yes, pre-flute. All right, the flute was good. All right, the flute was good.
Flute's dope.
So, but there's a part in it where like it's like a shtick in the movies where John Travolta has like a Cadillac or something nice in the beginning, and then something happens to it, and he has to get a rental. And then the rental's always something funny. Like the first one, it was like a minivan.
Yeah.
The second one, it was like a Honda electric coupe.
Yeah.
Of some sort and all. And he's like, so then he starts leaning into like, what about the environment and everything, kind of sticks it up. So he looks at Andre and he's like, how many, what do those Hummers get? What kind of gas mileage do they get? Like 10 miles to the gallon? He's like, 9. That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah. Give me 9.
Give me 9. I don't want less gas mileage.
Well, I'm going to tap out. We the next time you guys hear us, we probably still won't know who's president.
Probably not.
So you'll hear us again on Wednesday morning. They'll still probably be figuring it out unless it's just a weird landslide. And that could happen too.
That could happen too. I don't know. A lot of it, are we tapping out?
Yeah.
Or you want to finish that with a tap?
No, it's okay.
Okay. I'll
go ahead.
Oh, side note, I didn't tap out last time.
Did you not?
You asked me and I was like, yeah, sure. Yeah, I didn't tap out. I cheated you on the tap out.
Man.
Yeah. That was I Brazilian tapped.
Brazilian tap. You did. Because I thought you tapped.
Yeah, no, I didn't tap. I was like, when you said it on there, I was like, wait a minute, did I tap? And I will pull back. No, I just said some shit.
Just talk.
No.
That's okay.
But I played it off like I did.
Yeah, absolutely. You reverse Brazilian tap.
I reverse Brazilian tapped. Yeah.
You just wanted out of the round.
Wanted out. Good. Like, yeah, I tapped.
You got
it, buddy.
You did one of the. You did one of those. Hey, I need a minute. Hey, hold on. Oh, wait. Give me just a second. I just need to catch my breath. Okay, go.
Yeah, by the time all this comes out, we'll probably not know. But in case we do, I think everybody should vote. But I think they should. I think they should vote for who they're going to vote for. Like, I may have to vote for Cornel West.
Sure.
He's got a cool haircut and he's good philosophy, whatnot.
Yeah.
I don't know. Or maybe I'll vote left or maybe I'll vote right. I don't know. But I'll decide probably the day of maybe is what I'll do.
Yeah.
But my hope is that as divided as we can get going into any election year, that people try to keep in mind that we're all Americans and that we're trying to be more united, right?
Yeah.
And my worry is the uptick in madness whenever all this kind of stuff happens, like Dodgers winning the World Series type shit. They're happy about it and burn some stuff down. But
it's West Virginia every time we win a football game. Burn couches, bro. We burn couches in the street. Yeah.
Burn couches.
Moonshine does crazy stuff to 70,000 college kids.
Old stump whiskey.
70,000 college kids plus moonshine equals some crazy stuff, bro.
But I hope they got the National Guard kind of prepping and all this and that, which doesn't make me feel good. But I hope everybody can keep their head on their shoulders and just kind of on both sides. Republicans end up losing, like, don't go storming capitals again and whatnot. Like, just leave it alone. Try to go for the long haul. But who knows, man? I don't know.
It's wild.
It is wild. But that's my tap out. It's like, y'all keep your shit together and maybe celebrate. I don't know. Figure it out.
Yeah, I am going to also tap out to just a public service announcement. Okay, it's from CRJ,
Sort of.
ish, from CR. J echoes our sentiments.
Look, it's yeah.
We
CRJ. We can't go back, but
the J echoes our sentiments.
Yeah.
He's here in spirit.
yes. I'm making a shirt.
He's not dead.
He's not dead.
He's not dead, but he might be dead from us for a while until next episode. Maybe he pops in.
Maybe
Next week. I don't know. We don't know.
But ask us about some shit we've already covered the last 2 episodes.
Yeah. We need to lock him in a room, make him listen.
What about that Diddy?
Yeah. Oh, bro. Don't.
Yeah, I can't.
There's a lot of Diddy.
I know.
We can go. There's a lot of Diddy.
Yeah, can't do
With all the celebrity endorsements right now that are coming out on the Democratic side, just so happens all of them are tied up in the Diddy stuff. And now all of a sudden they have a voice and they want to go hard in the paint on Kamala Harris, LeBron James, Cardi B, Mariah Carey.
No, not Cardi B.
Yeah, Cardi B had a whole moment.
Shit about what she
had a whole moment, bro. Her she had a Kamala. Remember when Kamala's teleprompter went dead? Cardi B had the same thing, only it was so much worse with Cardi B.
She just started twerking. She didn't know what to do. She started twerking. She's like, this is what they gotta have.
Just a phone. Twerking.
I don't know. It's an inner stripper coming back out again because everybody gives a fuck what I say.
So I'm going to tap out to just look. I will be traveling from my home to back and forth to where am I going next week?
I don't know, man. I think you're in the state.
No, up by Gainesville somewhere.
Well, you're in Georgia.
I am in Georgia. Okay. So I'll be driving through Atlanta, back and forth through Atlanta all week. So I need you guys to keep your crap together this week. Everybody, talking to you, Douglas County, talking to you, Fulton, Cobb, all you guys between here and where I'm going.
If you stay South Fulton, you should be okay, buddy.
Yeah.
Stay South Fulton.
I'm in Challenger, so I should be fine.
Maybe.
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 I don't know. Depends on. It's gray. I think I'm okay with gray. It is gray.
A little state patrol-ish.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. Just wear your cowboy hat.
Wear my cowboy hat.
Maybe.
Yeah, I had it on. Had it on this past weekend. So just keep your stuff together, people. It'll all be okay. We'll all freak out again here in 4 years when the next presidential election. Everybody will freak out. That will be the most important presidential election. Then democracy then will be in the balance. Every 4 years, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Democracy in a balance is hangs in the balance every election. So get involved, vote, support a candidate. Do research, find out what your candidate stands for, have an opinion, and be able to discuss it with people. Whether you're right, they're right, just be able to have a discussion.
Yeah.
Be able to talk about it without getting angry and name calling and calling people fascists or communists or socialists or anything else.
Call them an asshole. Don't call them a fascist.
I almost said something else. I'm not. We love you guys, no matter who you voted for or who you plan to vote for tomorrow. Yep. Or maybe you've already voted early voting. But we love you guys. Thank you so much for listening, and we hope you come back and join us here in a couple days.
If you're having trouble sleeping over it, just remember, tell yourself it don't matter.
It don't matter. It don't matter. We're out.